Have you ever found yourself needing to read an RSA private key from a file, only to feel completely lost? You're not alone. Today, we're going to tackle this common issue and show you exactly how to read an RSA key from a file to sign a JWT. I understand how frustrating it can be when you have a generated RSA key but can't figure out how to use it. Many developers face this challenge, and it can feel like you're stuck in a maze with no exit. But don't worry, we're here to find that exit together. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, "How do I read an RSA private key from a file to sign a JWT?" They provided an example of how the key is generated, but they couldn't find guidance on building a key struct from that file. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this together. So, what's the issue here? When you generate an RSA key, it's stored in a specific format. To use it, you need to read that format correctly and convert it into a usable key struct. This process can be tricky if you're not familiar with the libraries available. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip that will make working with RSA keys even easier in the future. To read an RSA private key from a file, the user should first ensure they have the necessary libraries installed. For this task, they will need the S module to read files and crypto for handling the RSA key. Next, the user should read the RSA private key from the file. This can be done using the FS module to read the file contents asynchronously. Once the key is read, the user needs to create a key object. This can be done using the crypto module, which allows the user to import the RSA private key. Finally, the user can use the RSA private key to sign a JSON Web Token. This is done using a library like JSON Web Token. Fun fact, RSA keys are named after their inventors, Ron Rivest, Adi Shamir, and Leonard Adleman. They developed this encryption method back in 1977, and it's still widely used today. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach to reading an RSA key from a file is to use the function SSH parse raw private key. This function simplifies the process, especially if your key is an SSH key. The user suggests building upon this function. That's all for that response. Let's see what someone else had to say. This user provides a comprehensive method for reading RSA keys from files. They start by checking if a private key location is provided. If not, a temporary key is generated. The private key is read from the specified file, and if it's encrypted, a passphrase is required to decrypt it. The code then attempts to parse the private key, handling both PKCS1 and PKS8 formats. If successful, it reads the public key in a similar manner, ensuring it's in the correct PEM format. Finally, the public key is associated with the private key before returning it. Here's the quick tip I promised. Always keep your private keys secure and never share them. Consider using environment variables or secure vaults to manage sensitive information. And there you have it. You should now be able to read an RSA private key from a file and use it to sign your JWT. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more tips and remember to keep your keys safe.